subscribe and like the video. Same goes for socialism. You cannot be a socialist while also maintaining the position that like workers of different backgrounds are not real workers or something. Like it's just not, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like pure idealistic nonsense. It's garbage. To me, it's no different than talking about the middle class, which I use, obviously, colloquially when describing certain things, but it is a way to mystify class politics in general.
It's used to break up the solidarity of workers. Those companies know that diversity is a destabilizing factor.
How is that
to break up the solidarity of the work? Like that's okay. Sure.
a destabilizing factor?
Because again, it's harder for people to unify.
It's harder for them to unify if there's black people and Asian people that would, come on.
Like, did you understand how silly this is? Class politics is all about solidarity and examining the shared interests of every worker. Okay, this is just the exact opposite. Claiming that it is divisive to have a black worker work alongside a white worker is just, you're just racist. It has nothing to do with it. It's giving white supremacists. He is a white supremacist. What are you talking about? These guys are openly white supremacist chatters. I'm talking simply about like how even on the aesthetic front, these people that try to maintain the position that they're pro-labor Nazis, it's all purely aesthetic. It's all a marketing tool. At the end of the day, there is no difference between a black laborer on the assembly line or a white one. There is no difference. They are working the same job. They have the same exact class interest. This is at the heart of Marxist politics. This is at the heart of socialist politics. Okay? That's straight up the most important, albeit reductive, but the most important principle. Why do you say the term middle class is mystifying? Because it is a tool adopted by liberal capitalist thinkers to move the conversation away from the inherent class dynamic that exists within capitalism, at least like the Marxian interpretation of this class dynamic, the observation that you have capital owners that have an antagonistic need that is directly at odds with the needs of the wage laborers, the proletariat, the working class. Any kind of like adaptation away from that by saying, oh, the middle class, the upper middle class, like is simply moving you away from recognizing that there are two different positions in society. And that's precisely the reason why everyone says they're middle class in America. Have you not noticed? Does it not strike you as odd that every single person claims to be middle class regardless of how much or how little they make? Everyone, they'd rather be wage slaves than drop their prejudice. Kind of sad, but also pathetic. I mean, it is pathetic.
I mean, is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
So, okay, so the thesis is segregation.
America was founded as a country by and for a certain group of people that is pertained and designed for that type of
but
You can say, but things have changed now and things are different.
Yes.
Yes, things have gotten worse and I want them to get better.
You're saying it's because of diversity.
I've been getting into dumb arguments with liberals about sex workers lately because I've defended the job field. Would you include sex workers in this context? Yes, sex work is still work. It's just that all work is coercive under capitalism, and the dynamic of sex in this process makes a lot of people go, oh, well, you can't technically ever do sex work under coercive conditions because all sex work under coercive conditions is rape. That's what they're saying. Meanwhile, sex workers have talked about this quite extensively. Sex workers that I've talked to have written extensively on the subject matter, like the differences between, sex workers in general are operating on totally different confines. Like they're at the cutting edge of talking about theories surrounding enthusiastic consent, participation, and whatnot. I don't want to really get into it though, because unfortunately, people who are anti-work get very upset and they're very loud and they yell at me quite a bit, and I just simply don't want that headache. Until there's something, affirmative consent, enthusiastic consent, and consent in general is something that a lot of sex workers talk about. Of course, when people think about sex work, they think about people who are incredibly poor or people who are homeless, trying to make a living in horrifying conditions. And they point to that to say that the entirety of it must be abolished, and that is the moral thing to do, not recognizing that there absolutely is, even in a communist society, someone could engage in work if they chose to do so. Like, it's the notion that like no one that engages in sex work is doing it with their own autonomy is really silly. And talking to any sex worker, it doesn't have to be like, famous porn stars who are super successful or not. You can talk to like strippers and whatnot, and they will very clearly define that this is their own. This is something that they've wanted to do themselves. I'm not in the business of figuring out like how, I'm not in the business of figuring out what kind of like selling your body is appropriate. I think as long as your output is not negative, as long as your job is not harming others, then if you have consented to doing any form of labor, then it's fine. I have no issues with that. It's ridiculous. One of the most like eye-opening conversations I had was with a stripper friend of mine who openly stated like, I got sexually harassed more working at McDonald's than I do at the strip club. Because at the strip club, I maintain the power over what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And also, if someone harasses me, the bouncers beat the shit out of them. You can say that's a lie, but like that's like, see, this is what I don't understand. I'm against the fully sex workers work. That's a lie. Okay, but I'm talking about the personal experiences of she's lying to herself. See, yeah, exactly. And this is where anti-sex work conversations turn into women do not have the autonomy. Okay, so you're saying McDonald's needs bouncers? Yes, that would be sick. It would greatly improve the workplace conditions of the average McDonald's. Yeah. I think a lot of issues that pertain to harm being done to women in the workplace exist in every sector, and oftentimes is even more invisible in other sectors outside of work. And that it is born out of patriarchy rather than the industry itself. And it leads people down these like weird rabbit holes of thought where they just assume like work has greatly accelerated violence against women or whatever. The notion that like women were existing in a less violent sphere before the invention of like pornography, you know what I mean? That's a crazy notion. Yeah, women were definitely better off in professional society, let's say 50, 60 years ago. Like, that's ridiculous. The problem is misogyny. The problem is toxic masculinity. The problem is patriarchy. Okay, normalizing violence against women in very insidious ways. That's what I think. I can't believe we just started talking about work too. Holy shit. All right, let's continue with this.
The conversation has reached its terminus. I need to talk to some other people. You have a wonderful day, sir.
So after 1 to 2 minutes, we've ascertained that this is bullshit. They don't want to defend American labor. They stand for segregation. Really quick, I forgot to ask you, what is it like being an incel and a virgin?
I wouldn't know.
What's your body count?
I'm not here to discuss personal matters of my life. I think that's irrelevant.
So 0.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to make assumptions about my personal life, I think this is strange.
I mean, you're wearing a Patriot Front outfit, so.
I've been to other pro-life marches where you and I have spoke, so I know you're here a lot, right? Obviously, you and I don't agree on anything, but...
White supremacy is bad. This idea that we can, on the National Mall, see the fascist symbol on the American...
Are these all TikTokers that went to a Patriot Front rally? What's happening? Those are other TikTokers, right? Aren't these TikTokers? Damn, these guys are crazy. They're going wild mode.
National Mall, see the fascist symbol on the American flag over here. And then you look down there and you see the guys in the red hats, and then you realize, oh my God, it's the same people. That's it.
So being a guy who comes to pro-life marches all the time, how do you feel about them being at your march?
I don't think we should welcome fascism into a modern American society, and I think it speaks a lot about the motives of the people at the top of this movement, who would rather, be comfortable with their big billionaire donors from the Republican Party than stand up for the truth. So, as someone who comes at this from the left, I can only say that this is one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen. And the fact that there's so many of them also should tell you something as well. I'm out here in DC a lot. I organize also for Palestine. We never deal with this kind of thing except when the MAGA people are here. This is not an issue. DC is a completely blue city, 92%.
Until it's a MAGA march or a pro-life march.
Until this past week,
Actually, I think this is the first pro-life march personally I've seen them at.
The connection between over there and over here, don't miss it, because it's there. You have people like Seth Gruber, who looked me dead in the face and said, "You are a parasite to the movement." Same guy. He's now speaking down here saying that women should be killed for having abortions. And I think that's absolutely shameful.
And finally, new rule. Let's look up.
New rule, eat the rich. Oh, let's go. Okay. Let's see what she did at the same march, by the way. And then I'm going to get to Colombia in a second.
Long time since you talked to a woman, so here I am.
Thank y'all for being here.
I just figured it's probably been a while since you talked to a woman, so here I am.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I know it's probably been a while since you talked to a woman, so I thought I would treat you. How many of these can I have?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I love watching this juxtaposition in real time between the way they react to her and the way they react to Walter. This is like, this 1 minute video after watching Walter's video proves the point that he was making. That is crazy. Oh my God. These guys are literally like, they're flustered, dude. They're like, would you like to join the white nationalist workers move? Oh, God damn. Y'all make fun of me, say 127, but these dudes are not maintaining eye contact at all, dude. That is crazy. Also, yesterday's stream also proved that I do maintain eye contact, good eye contact.
I think 2 is good, probably.
Can I have 3? Three's lucky.
They cost money to make.
Right. Giving out free flyers, that's socialism.
Yep. No, that's kind of creepy.
Is it? Wait. Is it kind of creepy? The Patriot Front's here. It's just weird.
It is weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
I know who they are. They're white supremacists. Yeah, that's weird, right? Guys, can we agree that it's weird that Patriot Front is here?
That's weird. They represent themselves, and that's not okay in America in this day and age.
Can we agree that Patriot Front being here is weird?
Yeah.
So where are you guys from?
Denmark.
What do you guys think about these guys? Are you familiar with Patriot Front at all?
No. We are not familiar with those, but as a European, it smells a little bit too much like Germany in the 40s.
Yup, right. The streets are calling it the worst photo ever taken. Tomorrow, you're going to want to watch what happened at Club Random. Oh my God. Okay, can I just say, it's wonderful. It's wonderful that of all different walks of life, allegedly, all different walks of life, with varying degrees of misconduct, can come together and unite. Can I just say, it's very cool that these guys can set aside their ideological disagreements and party loyalties to come together and unify on creeping women and creeping on women. Spectacular. I think it's great that they can just set aside all of the normal back and forth, set aside their ideological differences to unite on common ground. Just 2 dudes ready for their next junior high school dance. Yeah. All right. Let's cover drop site already. Drop site translated Gustavo Petro, Presidente de la República de Colombia.